Guys, it's coffee time. I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween. We got very, very, very few trick-or-treaters. That was kind of sad, but I did get to watch both Ro and Mike hit an intense candy coma. I didn't get it, somehow, because I guess I only had like 2 bags of Swedish fish. Oh, I threw all the bags out. My room was littered with bags because I lined them all up and then was tossing them like Fliff, which was a terrible idea. But the cat thought it was really fun. The bags are like that big-ish. And so I had 2 bags of Swedish fish and 2 bags of Sour Patch Kids. And I think that's as much as I had. Did I have more Swedish fish? I might have. But, man, I was live streaming for so long yesterday because we did the podcast that started at noon my time. Did the podcast, and it started late because Jesse got stuck in LA traffic, which is the worst. And actually, I can't say it's the worst. Honestly, after being in Rome, there is no traffic that looks worse than the traffic in Rome. I can't complain about anything, although I didn't have to drive in it when we were in Italy. But anywho, so Jesse got stuck in traffic, so we started like a half an hour late. So we were just kind of like sitting on Skype waiting for like an hour before we could actually go and do it. So I had my whole morning. But then from like noon to 3:30-ish, 3:15, 3:30, I think that's how long we did podcast. And then they wanted to do the house Halloween podcast starting at 4. And I was like, who decided this? Who thought that this was a good idea? Because I knew that I was going to end at least 3. And I was like, oh, I'm going to need food. I'm going to need a shower. I can guarantee that these are things that I'm going to want to do before I am on a stream again. And knowing my house, I knew, even though we had said, it'll be just like a 2-hour stream. I was like, well, it probably would be longer than that. It actually wound up staying pretty short. I was shocked. Because typically we'll say, all right, we're going to do like a 2 or 3 hour stream, and then Mike will get so into it. He'll get so invested that it'll turn into a 12-hour stream. And I'm like, we should have marketed this as something bigger because, my goodness, it went on forever. But yeah, so we decided to push it until 4:30 so that I could order all the Chinese food. I ordered way too much Chinese food. But the place that I order from, if you spend a certain amount of money, they give you so many free egg rolls. And I was like, oh, I'm falling into a trap. I just want these egg rolls, and I want all the soup. I want fried rice. I want so many things. I'm so hungry. And of course, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. But fortunately, everybody else in the house was hungry except for Mike. So Ro had some, and Jared Frodo had some, and I think Chris had some maybe. But overall, the food did not go to waste. So that was nice. So yeah, so we did podcast, and then 4:30 kind of started the Halloween stream. You know, we like eased into it, and that was kind of fun. We spent like an hour playing every game, every game in the world. No, we were going to play 3 games, but I think we only played 2 because we played Left 4 Dead for like an hour and a half. And then we played Chivalry, but we didn't play any other game, did we? Because we stopped after Chivalry. I can't decide how I feel about Chivalry. I want to play more of it. It's like really intense medieval TF2. It's like brutal. It's really hard to play, but it's like red v blue teams. You have an objective. One of them is literally push the cart. And I was like, oh man, this is like really intense TF2, except you only have 4 classes to choose from. So every time I played a really good melee class, I just died so quick. The second I got near somebody, I died. So I thought, all right, I'm going to be an archer instead. This is what we're going to do. I'll be an archer. This will all work out. And that didn't work either. I mean, it worked better. I killed way more people as an archer than anything else, but it still was not quite up to par for myself. The second that I compared it to TF2, I was like, all right, I can do good at this game. It's way harder than TF2 is. So, and then, you know, It's more serious. Except for when you're in spectator mode or when you die and you're just like this little ghost person and you can like waddle around the world because it's so funny. I love that. That was probably my favorite aspect of the game, was when both Jared, Frodo, and I were ghosts. And we were just like, ooh, over the microphones because Mike kept being like, what are you guys doing? What are you talking about? It was great. So we did that, and I remember being like surprised when they stopped the stream, when Mike was like, yeah, so we're just going to finish out, you know, this round that we're doing, and then once that's over, we're going to stop the stream so that we can watch a bunch of scary movies, which I knew that they had picked up some scary movies to watch, but I don't know, I didn't believe. It was like, what is this universe where I'm like, I'm finally like all amped up and ready to play more games. Because I did the dip where I started off with the podcast. I was like, energy, energy, energy. I'm dressed up as Sherlock Holmes, all of the Sherlock Holmes. I have a Basil mustache. I'm so good right now. And then it dipped into, I'm getting really tired and I just ate food and I'm kind of a 5-year-old and 5-year-olds eat, they take naps. And then it started to go back up into, chivalry is really fun. And then they stopped the stream. And right when they stopped the stream, Jesse finally finished with all of his work so that he could come join us. And he was like, oh, you guys are stopping? So I was like, don't worry, Jesse. I will play a game with you if you want. Whatever, if you want to like keep streaming, I'll hop over onto your stream and we can play a game. And he was like, oh, I'm wondering if you have a certain game. I was like, what game? And so he typed into Skype, Farming Simulator 2013, and I was like, I don't have that, but I'll go get it. And I did. It was way too much money for the payoff, but at the same time, I'm like, it was kind of worth it. That game is so ridiculous. It was Jesse, Krender, and I, and we just like ran golf carts into each other and got tractors stuck together and made crop circles. It was good. It was really fun. Did that for like, I think I stayed on there for an hour, maybe a little more than an hour, and then I was like, all right, I think I've finally done the dip and then the back up, and now it's even. I think I hit the even point. Honestly, the game crashed, and then I went, okay, this is the sign. This is a sign that I'm done. So I went out into the living room, and they were watching Trick or Treat, which I've never seen before, but I found out it's apparently based off of a comic book. So I'm like, oh, I want to read the comic book. The movie was good, though, what I saw of it. There was one scene that felt like it went on for way too long, but I hadn't seen the beginning of the movie, right? So I was like, I mean, I have no affection or knowledge of this character, but I feel like maybe the scenes surrounding this character is going on forever. But still, I mean, what I saw of it made me intrigued to continue watching it. Yes. Yeah. And then today we filmed DIY stuff. I'm very excited about those. I know that I filmed a couple, you guys remember, I filmed a couple like forever ago, and the footage just like, the feeling of it was strange. It was very stilted. It wasn't me. It was very not me. And I went, I can't put these up. Like, it's weird. It's too weird. It's not me. So we did a couple new ones today, and I think that they're going to be a lot better. The format of it, I think is going to come across as being very similar to Rose's show, just because they're both, here's how to do this, and here's how to do this, and this, and this. But we're very different people, so I'm hoping that it doesn't come across as being like a ripoff of her show. Like my original DIYs, the ones that I did like forever ago on my own, or where I filmed myself doing it and then I did a voiceover because I didn't have anybody helping me. So it just made it easier that way. But having somebody there to help me film it, I was like, oh, it's going to be so much easier on editing if I just talk now. But then it comes across, kind of the same way that Nerdy Nummies does. I'm like, well, we'll have to see what it looks like. We'll have to see. If I have to make changes to it, if it still feels weird, that's okay. But I think that these 2 episodes are going to turn out good. One of them is with Ro, and we had a lot of fun. It went good. It did take all day though. So now I'm going to help a buddy put together some bookshelves. That should be exciting. But I think that my payment might be Lamburgers. So worth it. But anywho, I hope you guys had a good Halloween. Hope you had a good Dia de los Muertos. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye. Mwah!